Statement. I want to thank you all for being here today, and welcome to the Energy, Climate, Grid Security Subcommittee hearing titled Fueling America's Economy, Legislation to Improve Safety and Expand U.S. Pipeline Infrastructure. Today we're examining a discussion draft released by Chair Rodgers and myself to reauthorize the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration's Pipeline Safety Program for another 5 years and update policies to construct and operate pipelines. PHMSA is an agency under the U.S. Department of Transportation that develops and enforces federal safety regulations for the nation's pipeline infrastructure and the transportation of hazardous materials. Pipelines are the safest and most efficient modes of transport for fuels and feedstocks that power our nation's economy. According to a 2019 PHMSA report to Congress, pipelines delivered 180 million gallons of energy per instant, while trucks delivered only 55 million gallons per instant, and trains only 50 million gallons. PHMSA and states must cooperate and coordinate to ensure the nation's existing 3.4 million miles of pipelines are operated and maintained in a safe and reliable manner. PHMSA also has a critical role to play in reviewing proposals for new pipelines and liquefied natural gas facilities within a timely manner. I'm glad that we have PHMSA Deputy Administrator Tristan Brown here today to discuss PHMSA's current operations and the agency's implementation of the Protecting Our Infrastructure of Pipelines and Enhancing Safety, or PIPES Act, that was passed back in 2020. This committee has a responsibility to ensure PHMSA complies with its statutory authorities and maintains a strong focus on public safety. Now, I have concerns that under this administration, PHMSA is getting away from pipeline safety and toward more climate activism. It has become an unfortunate theme throughout the Biden administration that agencies are acting outside the scope of their congressionally directed responsibilities by proposing climate change regulations. The apparent goal of the Biden administration is to keep fossil fuels in the ground, or at least make them so expensive that the American people can't afford them. We're seeing that all over the country. We've seen it through actions at the EPA, Department of Energy, and the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. Just last week, the press revealed that the DOE is secretly pausing LNG export permits while it conducts duplicative and repetitive environmental reviews, just another move to stop U.S. energy production and delivery. The Biden administration's disdain for fossil fuels and pipelines is putting lives at risk. Under President Biden, PHMSA has gone 3 years without a nominee to lead the agency. That's a record vacancy. PHMSA is currently led by Deputy Administrator Brown, who I'm glad is here to speak today to talk about these concerns, as well as the numerous overdue congressional mandates and open rulemakings that have yet to be finalized by PHMSA. As a result of the current state of PHMSA and American energy infrastructure, Chair Rodgers and I have released draft legislation that reflects a comprehensive approach to reauthorize PHMSA's safety programs and update policies for pipeline permitting. It's no secret the United States is in desperate need of expanded pipeline energy infrastructure. My home state of South Carolina is facing an impending energy crisis, in part due to the lack of pipeline infrastructure required to bring clean energy to South Carolina. Pipelines all over the country have been delayed and ultimately canceled as the result of permitting challenges and lawsuits funded and backed by radical environmental groups. The draft legislation that Chair Rodgers and I have introduced addresses this by strengthening penalties for damaging pipelines and incorporated permitting reforms centered on safety, modernization, and expansion. It improves pipeline safety by updating PHMSA's programs to reflect new technologies. It puts an end to the gas bans by protecting the American people's right to choose the energy source that fits their needs. So in conclusion, pipelines are essential to the energy security of the United States. If we don't have the necessary infrastructure to deliver oil and natural gas from American producers to energy consumers and utilities, we undercut our energy security and force reliance on our adversaries for energy. I'm not alone in this. I'll point out that the Progressive Policy Institute has a paper that specifically points, and this isn't a conservative right-leaning group. Progressive Policy Institute has a paper pointing to the need to build out our energy infrastructure and pipeline infrastructure in this country and supports natural gas. I welcome the committee to read that at some point in time on both sides of the aisle. So I look forward to our hearing today and recognize Ranking Member DeGette for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. And before